Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. Getting young people excited about science and math can be a challenge. We'll leave it to UVM Extension 4-H to take this challenge and raise the stakes. The annual 4-H Youth Environmental Summit, YES for short, brings Vermont middle and high school students together and asks them to speak out, act up, and be the change. The mission of YES is to inspire, encourage, and prepare youth for a life of environmental stewardship and civic leadership. One school that's taken up this call to action is South Burlington High School. Across the fences, Keith Silva caught up with the team as they got ready for YES.
This is the sound of big ideas being put into action at South Burlington High School.
I wasn't born loving plastic recycling.
Big Picture is South Burlington High School's proficiency-based learning program. Students graduate based on their ability to demonstrate what they know, understand, and are able to do. Jim Shields is a Big Picture advisor.
I am a strong believer in experiential project-based learning. I think that, in fact, that's why they call me an advisor as opposed to a teacher. I mean, we approach things from the point of view that we're trying to create learning experiences as opposed to teaching something. And more importantly, we're trying to create durable learning experiences. So I'm going to learn something that I'm not going to forget a week after the test is done.
Ashley Shell is part of a team at Big Picture developing a recycling project that aims for the top.
We are recycling bottle caps, and we have created a system of where we shred bottle caps, melt them down, and make them into our own items that we can really create anything we want with molds. So it's like a mini recycling plant that we've made ourselves, if you will.
Alex Dombey is also working on this project. She has an internship at St. Michael's College Engineering Department to develop an injector that turns the shredded bottle caps into new items. For her, this project is about putting her emotions into action.
I have a huge passion for environmentalism, saving the earth, because I gotta live here for a little bit longer, and it's in my best interest to make it the nicest place to be. Once I learned that this is something that I should care about because it has massive impact on my personal life, then it's something that immediately comes to the front of my mind.
The team at Big Picture has been developing this recycling system for a few years. They're preparing to give a presentation of what they've learned at the annual 4-H Youth Environmental Summit.
When I hear about any conferences or opportunities to work with 4-H, they're an awesome fit with the experiential project-based nature of Big Picture learning. So they automatically jump out at me as a good match. We've had students who have done the teen science workshops and other programs with the extension, and I've just found that it really matches our mission to allow students to directly experience their learning and produce meaningful, authentic products that can be shared with their community.
For Dombey, this presentation is both a test of the project and a way to develop her skills in public speaking.
I used to deal with a lot of social anxiety, so I want to kind of monitor that and see how I can educate myself with different methods so it's not such a hindrance on my education, because experiences like those are the things that make me go wild for learning. I have huge hopes for kind of nailing in that last little nail to my professional appearance and getting rid of all of the other things in my head.
No. So do you know what that's called? The plants are from the area?
The 4-H Youth Environmental Summit, YES for short, is an annual conference for middle and high school students. Over 300 students from across Vermont are here to learn about environmental issues, network with peers from other schools, and interact with professionals working on environmental causes in Vermont. Lauren Traster is the UVM Extension 4-H Team and Leadership Specialist.
What I tell the kids is to really focus on what is the problem, what are some solutions that are currently happening, and how can they get involved and take action. So my hope is they leave today really inspired, have an increased knowledge about what is happening in the environmental community, not just in Vermont, but in our country and in the world, and how can they, our young people, begin to take steps and action to be part of the solutions.
In addition to motivating students to get involved in social and environmental causes, Tracer hopes YES inspires attendees to make a difference in their communities.
This is what we hope for, is that our young people find some issue, whether it's an environmental issue or another social issue, whatever it is, that they find that spark, that it becomes deeply ingrained in them, that they say, what is it that I can do? Not just for a school project, not just for a grade, not just to graduate, but what can I do as a citizen of this state and of this country and of this world? How can I leave my mark to make that difference?
It's the little things like that that can really make a difference.
One of the highlights of the 4-H Youth Environmental Summit is the exhibit Scavenger Hunt. Amidst this frenzy of finding answers to earn prizes, students interact with professional groups. These exchanges fit the 4-H mission of learning by doing.
We invite the environmental community to be part of this day. So professionals in nonprofits, in state agencies, UVM Extension, education. We bring everybody in who's willing to come and share their knowledge with our young people and ask them to step up and join them in solving these problems. And so the people we bring here are great because they recognize that the solutions need to include young people. It's not just let us do our work. It's like, no, we have this work. We want you and invite you in to be part of our work and get you engaged.
So I would encourage you to ask your parents to take you to your first.
At the big picture presentation, the group shows slides and talks about their project. But this day is all about doing. So once the shredder starts going, the audience is involved and everyone is working together.
Start to pull this out if you want.
Ashley and Alex know that's when learning happens.
Down and then it goes wild.
Hands-on learning is definitely the way to go because it feels like you're doing something more. It's planting hopefully a first seed of something that will grow and other people will realize and catch on, because we need action now, not tomorrow, not in a year. We need to start helping out now because the clock is ticking and we have to do something other than putting up save the earth signs and stuff. We have to actually get down to business and get our hands dirty.
I personally love conferences for the one purpose of networking. When I find students from Montpelier High School, from high schools that I didn't even know existed, from faraway towns that I've never been to, I create these bonds with these students, and through that we all have these young imaginative brains. And so if you get all of us in a room, there's bound to be genius happening.
For Shields, this project and the YES Conference are opportunities for students to experience what it means to gain knowledge from real-world experience.
I think going to a conference where you're actually sharing something that you're doing in your school, an initiative you're taking, and hearing from other students who are doing initiatives at their own school was a really inspiring way for students to feel ownership and like an authentic exchange. It's not a conference where people go and put up slideshows about environmental issues they've heard about. They're really not just kind of reteaching, they're actually sharing initiatives that they're doing at their own schools. So it has that hands-on, taking initiative, rolling up your sleeves and doing something that I think my students got a lot of inspiration from.
Speaking out, taking action, and being a force for change. It's what has these students saying yes at the 4-H Youth Environmental Summit. In Barrie, I'm Keith Silva with Across the Fence.
Well, Lauren Tracer joins me now in the studio. Congratulations on the success of this year's summit.
Oh, thank you. It was a great day.
Yeah. Now, how many students participated?
This was our largest event to date, with almost 300 students and teachers registered for the day.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it
and
was
so
exciting.
Sixth graders were, this was the first time sixth graders were involved. And why did you decide to involve the younger children?
Yeah, so the event has always been open to grades 7 through 12, but we do trend a little bit younger. And people kept pointing out that most middle schools are grades 6 through 8. But more importantly, there's research out there that says the more engaged you are as when you're young, the more likely you will stay engaged as you transition into adulthood. So there really is some very specific educational benefits to get our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders there, introduce them to these ideas, get them connected, get them thinking and seeing what actions they can take at a younger age, to hope that then stays with them as they continue through life.
And so you work with a lot of 4-H programs centered on leadership. How does the environmental awareness lead to leadership?
Yeah, so what we really hope is the more knowledge that our young people gain, that they'll then find whatever spark it is, what is their passion. And then we also give them the tools they need to take leadership actions. And so the hope is, between the knowledge of an issue that they care about and the tools that they need to take action, they will step up into a leadership role. And then we look sort of long term. We really want them to be informed, engaged citizens. So when they are of voting age, they will have the knowledge to also then vote for the environment, to make sure we have environmental protections in place.
What sort of opportunities does the Youth Environmental Summit provide for teachers?
Teachers really like coming to this summit because we bring in, this year we had 28 different organizations there, so it's a really great place to find resources, to make connections, not only with the environmental community, but with other teachers that are also there that day. But I did have one teacher say it wasn't just the teachers that they liked connecting to, they really liked connecting with students from all over the state themselves. So it's this one day that everyone comes together, share ideas, share resources, share what's been happening, and then hopefully then go back into your own silos in your own school, but take those ideas back with you and begin the work.
And peer-to-peer contact is really important.
It's huge. I mean, we made a decision from the get-go that it was never just going to be a day where we bring in the environmental community to talk about what they're doing. It has always been a co-presentation. We invite youth speakers in. We have organizations who will present along with youth speakers, because we want students to see what other students are doing and share ideas, so that nobody has to recreate the wheel. If one school does a locker clean out at the end of the school year to prevent those items from going into the landfill but back into reuse, well, why can't more schools do that? Or I'm sure some were learning from Big Picture about recycling.
And so what about the organizations that come in and give these presentations on this day? What do you hear back from them as far as their experience working with these kids?
They love it because they recognize that young people need to get involved in the mission of their organizations and need to know about the work that their organization does. So they really love to have the opportunity to connect with, as they see it, citizens of Vermont who need to know about what is happening right here in Vermont and begin connecting to the work that they're doing and participating in the work that they're doing.
And so there seemed to be, at least with this couple of students that were interviewed on that tape, a real urgency behind what they're working on.
Yeah, I mean, the young people today get that, as the students had on tape, that the clock is ticking. They can't just put signs up in school anymore, save the environment, our earth needs you. They realize they have to take action steps. So we have students that leave the day saying, we're gonna go petition the school to get solar panels, or we don't have recycling bins in every classroom, we're gonna do that. Or where are the compost bins in the classroom? We're gonna make sure that happens. Whatever it is, we want them to realize, and they do realize, they can't just talk the talk anymore, they have to take action.
Now, it's been almost a year since you started hosting 4-H Teen Science Cafes at UVM. What goes on there and what are the goals?
The Teen Science Cafes are amazing. Last year we started with 3, and so far we've had 3 this year. We'll have 3 more after the holidays. But we invite speakers in who present their work in whatever science area they are involved in. They do a hands-on activity with the teens to get them experiencing the kind of work that they do. And it is amazing to see how many teens are just really passionate about STEM.
And so what were the most popular topics of the cafe, do you think?
So far, it's been astrobiology. Astrobiology, that was our first cafe, and we had over 100 youth sign up to come, with about 80 showing up to a free event on a Saturday night in February. So it was amazing. But we regularly have about 50 attend every cafe since, and they're just incredible to witness, to see the excitement and engagement to learn about any kind of science that is happening.
Now you have more cafes lined up for this year. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, so this year so far we've had one on stress, we've had one on insect research, to do with farm agriculture and climate change. We had one on GIS and mapping. And coming up, we have one on alternative energy racing, and 2 related to research at the medical school around gene therapy and cancer research.
And so if people are interested, if students are interested or their parents, they should call this number?
Yes, they can reach out to 1-866-260-5603 and ask about the Teen Science Cafes.
Terrific. Lauren, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's our program for today. I'm Judy Simpson. I'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.